In a world where comfort reigns and remote work prevails, the COVID pandemic forced us to rethink our routines. We found solace at home, working in our pajamas, while brave souls continued to serve and protect. While we lounged on our couches, they remained alert, shielding us from harm's way. No virus could deter their mission, for they carried on, risking their lives in hazardous conditions. Amidst the stark contrast, danger took on different forms. Fear is subjective, with snakes terrifying some, while being a mere stroll for others. Yet one occupation stands as the epitome of risk: the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. This treacherous workplace defies all norms, where brave men and women face danger head-on, defying the odds in pursuit of their duty. Brace yourself for an adrenaline-fueled glimpse into this world, where danger looms and courage shines brightest. As previously stated, on an aircraft carrier, the riskiest place to work can vary depending on the operation or circumstance. Although there are some spots that are typically regarded as high risk, the flight deck, where planes take off and land, is among the riskiest places aboard an aircraft carrier. Working on the flight deck requires Navy personnel to function in a fast-paced, constantly changing environment with jet engines roaring and fast-moving aircraft. Crew members need to be highly trained and concentrated to prevent harm or death, because the possibility of crashes, fires, and other accidents is very serious. The possibility for aircraft collisions represents one of the major threats on the flight deck. There is a chance of mid-air collisions or mishaps while landing when several planes take off and land at once. In order to control the flow of aircraft and make sure they are safely directed to their respective landing or takeoff sites, the flight deck crew must possess a high level of training. There are multiple reasons to believe that the flight desk is one of the most dangerous places to work at, but specifically, here are two at the moment followed by more. First of all, strong gusts produced by jet engines on airplanes have the potential to knock people off their feet, while rain, sea spray, or fuel spills can make the deck itself slick and slippery. To lower the danger of injury, crew members must put on the proper protective gear to ensure their safety. The flight deck, with its constant airplane noise, bright lights, and heavy gear, is likewise a noisy and stressful area. Crew members must be able to work efficiently in these circumstances while strictly adhering to safety protocols. All things considered, the flight deck of an aircraft carrier is a demanding and dangerous job that needs highly qualified and trained staff to function safely and effectively. Working with heavy machinery can be dangerous physically, but it can also expose you to harmful fumes and chemicals. A rigorous and difficult job that calls for specific knowledge and training is working on the engine room. In order to ensure safe and effective functioning, the machinery must be complicated and constantly monitored and maintained in an environment that can be hot, noisy, and congested. The possibility of flames and explosions is one of the main dangers in the engine room. The room's machinery produces immense heat, and fuel, oil, and lubricants serve as a fire, pun intended, to the already heated atmosphere. To avoid fires and explosions, crew members must receive training in the proper handling and storage of these substances. They also need to be ready to act as quickly as they can to muster the energy for in case an emergency arises. Although working in the engine room of an aircraft carrier might be difficult and demanding, it is essential to the ship's efficient and safe functioning. Engine room crew members are highly qualified and devoted experts who take pride in their work and the significant role that they play in safeguarding their nation. There are a number of other considerations that make operating in the engine room of an aircraft carrier difficult and demanding. In addition to the risks already stated, the close quarters of the workplace is one of these variables. A lot of equipment, including engines, generators, pumps, and other machinery, are housed in the cramped engine room. Crew members frequently have to crawl into small locations to do maintenance or repairs while working near to this equipment. The excessive humidity and warmth in the engine room provide another difficulty. The machinery produces a lot of heat, which is difficult to dissipate in the small area. To avoid heat exhaustion or heat stroke, the crew members in the engine room must wear protective gear and take frequent rests. Working in the engine room presents physical hurdles in addition to the need for specialized knowledge and training. Each piece of equipment in the engine room, as well as the many safety measures and emergency protocols, must be operated by the crew members. They must also be adept at identifying and diagnosing issues with the apparatus and capable of carrying out necessary repairs or maintenance. Despite these difficulties, working in an aircraft's engine room may be a gratifying and meaningful job. The crew members in the engine room are proud of the significant part that they play in the ship's safe and efficient operation. They are incredibly talented and committed individuals that put forth endless effort to make sure that their ship is prepared to complete its duty whenever and wherever it is required. The hangar deck, where planes are kept and serviced, and the storage spaces for weapons and ammunition, where crewmen handle explosive materials, are other dangerous sites on an aircraft carrier. The hangar deck is where planes are kept, maintained, and set up for takeoff or landing. There's a lot of heavy machinery and equipment in use, which creates a bustling and noisy workplace. The risk of fires and explosion is increased because the deck is also utilized for other tasks, like fueling and arming planes. Due to the presence of flammable materials, including fuel, oil, and hydraulic fluids, the hangar deck is also a dangerous area. To avoid fires and explosions, crew members need to be instructed in the proper handling and storage of hazardous products. Additionally, because there are so many electrical systems and components on board the aircraft carrier, there's always a chance of electrical fires. So, an aircraft carrier's hangar deck is a complicated and dangerous work environment that needs careful management, training, and safety protocols to assure the security of people and property. Overall, to execute the responsibilities safely and successfully, Navy personnel serving on an aircraft carrier must be highly skilled and trained due to the multiple risks that they confront. They may be willing to give up certain luxuries in order to serve their country and carry out their duty to safeguard it. As we previously stated, there may be other locations that some people may perceive as being much harder and more dangerous than others. Since this is a question of perspective, we were only able to talk about a select selection of these locations in this video. Tell us where you believe it to be the riskiest area to work on an aircraft carrier.